All right, how's everyone doing? I am Rich CELENZA. Thanks for checking out the Rich CELENZA show. So, what I'm going to talk about today is men being afraid to date women that have financial stability. And I know that sounds kind of wacky, but I think sometimes when I talk to a lot of guys and they date certain types of women, it seems like. And a lot of times, a lot of men don't admit it, but they're afraid to date women that either are very financially stable or have a better career than them or have more money than them. Not always, but I definitely do think that is an issue with a lot of dudes. I once did a video, I'm trying to remember, it was like no one's out of your league. And it was kind of for men and women, where I think a lot of times we meet certain people in certain places, or we get introduced to certain people, or we're in certain environments where we're way out of our league. And I used to know a buddy in California, LA, I'd go to events with, and no matter where we went, he'd always be like, Rich, this is out of my league. I'm like, what are you talking about? People are people. I get sometimes if you're around millionaires, you may not feel like, you don't deserve to be there because of their financial situation, or, they live a certain lifestyle and all this shit. I don't know. I never really got caught up in that. I can care less. I've been around a lot of people that are poor, and I've been around a lot of people that are very wealthy throughout my life. I just look at people as people, and actually I think everybody's kind of nuts in their own way. I just think, yeah, sure, he lives in a different type of house, or her, and this one drives a different type of car, and this one may have more money in the bank. Who gives a shit? They're going to get up, they're going to do whatever they do, take a shower, eat, go to work, go out to eat, talk to friends, do whatever they do, smoke a cigar, have a cigarette, have a drink, whatever, and come home. Okay. Sure, they may travel differently, may have different possessions than you, but overall, people are people. You know what I mean? And a lot of things we enjoy are almost, they're just, I may go to a gym, and I go to a very wealthy area for my gym, and I know there's multi-millionaire guys there. They're working out alongside of me. I could care less. Afterwards, we're all having coffee together. Later, we're all eating together. It's whatever. It is what it is. But in this situation, in my podcast, I think a lot of dudes, they also complain about women that they date. Okay? And they go out with these women and like, oh man, all they want to do is go out and spend my money or go out on expensive dates and all this shit. And I'm like, that's on you. First of all, if you know anything about me, I always tell people, quit pissing all your money away on dates, especially with women or men you don't know. If you're blowing a lot of money on people you don't know, that's on you. You don't have to do that. But we're not going to get into that. What I'm saying is, if you are interested, I should say, especially from a man looking at a woman, if you are interested in somebody who's very polished and educated, right, but you can't seem to find them a lot of times, it's because of the surroundings that you're putting yourself in, too. I think a lot of men do want smart, intelligent, beautiful women. I talk a lot about that in my program. But a lot at the same time are very scared to find a beautiful, intelligent woman. I really believe it. I think sometimes they just think they need to find somebody who needs them. It could be financially, it could be whatever it is. Makes them feel more secure. But if you're somebody who is complaining, I think a comedian once did this about men that complain about gold diggers and all this shit, women taking all their money. Listen, I can assure you, if you date an educated woman that has her own money, they're not going to give a shit about your finances. I can assure you, especially if they make a lot more money. Can they take advantage of you? Maybe, if you allow them to. But if you really want to maybe start looking at things from a different perspective, like dating somebody who's actually smarter than you, because I think a lot of times that doesn't mean they're smarter on every aspect. But my theory in life was I always wanted to be truthfully around the most beautiful, intelligent woman. I don't like the dumb bullshit. I don't like the dummy thing for the most part. Have I dated always incredibly beautiful, intelligent women? Maybe not. But there also had to be something else there that I really liked. But for the most part, I was looking for very, very intelligent women. Because I always thought if I had a child, for one, or children, I wanted them to be intelligent. Also, if I died or something happened to me, I wanted to make sure who I was with had the financial stability to carry on. Because a lot of times you think even, if I die, they get they'll get whatever. What's the word I'm looking for here? You pass away, not an inheritance, but a policy, a life insurance policy that they'll get, and they'll get all that money and they can live off that. That's bullshit. I'm telling you right now. I looked at it and said, hey, Whoever I have children with, I want them to be smart. I want them to educate my children. I want them to make sure that they carry on their education, and they know how to handle finances. They know how to handle themselves, and they're going to know how to find, even if they're not with me, if I get a divorce, they're going to find the right man to hopefully surround themselves around. All these things I was thinking about, because I do think a lot of guys, and I'd hate to say this about women, and women do it too, you're looking for the dummy a little bit. You're looking for the one maybe you could take advantage of, or maybe the one you can control a little more. If you have more money, a lot of times, especially men, they think they have all the power. And yeah, a lot of times you do. Let's call it for what it is. But a lot of times, too, you don't realize you may have all the power, but sometimes, on the flip side, you may be getting fooled. A lot of women do take advantage, and a lot of men take advantage of women just because of kind of letting your guard down. And I talk about this in my program too with men a lot of times, especially when dating women. I'll bring it up again. A lot of times they're just looking at their beauty. And beauty is a bad investment, I'm telling you. If you got to pick beauty or intelligence, right, go with intelligence. That's for life. Beauty, I don't care who you date. Yeah, sure, they'll be beautiful maybe for a certain amount of time. It's usually not going to be forever. It's a real bad investment. So my point being in this podcast is, mainly for men, is listen, if you're having a problem with women, or you just don't seem to find the right type of woman, or they're just, whatever the situation is, I'm not here to rip on women by any means. But if it's not working out a lot of times, it may be time to start finding smart, intelligent women that know what they're doing, right? That just know they have a career, possibly, they have their own finances, and the truth is, they don't need you. I think that's what a lot of people don't realize. What I think a lot of times works best is a lot of times in relationships, if the other really doesn't need each other for financial stability, you're just both financially stable, how different that is in life. Because a lot of men end up dating a lot of times women that need their money. And a lot of men can't afford to support two people, let alone if you start having a family, 3 or 4. Some can, a majority can, but a lot can't, especially when times hit hard. If you have somebody that's just as financially stable as you, even when you fall on hard times, they can carry you, and vice versa. But you at least both know you have, stability in your life. A lot of people, a lot of men especially, they like to date unstable women again because they have leverage. And, if you get wrapped up in that, and I can see that happening, don't get me wrong. I think we've all kind of, for the most part, a lot of times we date all different types of people that have strengths and weaknesses. But if you're definitely somebody looking to get married or have a long-term relationship with somebody, don't just judge them on their looks, great personality. Maybe it's time to start looking at what they have to offer, not you, themselves. What have they done for themselves? Especially if they've been married before, or in their previous relationships, you can kind of get a vibe when somebody has their shit together. I'm just telling you. And for some reason, a lot of people also, especially men, don't like when the other person they're dating has their shit together a little more together than them. Especially, I think, if, say, they have a home and you don't, or they're driving a better car than you don't have one, or they have a better career than you, or they have more money. I think a lot of men, I call them shit in the pants, they can't handle that. Because for some reason they think maybe that woman's going to have leverage on them or tell them what they can and can't do, or whatever the case may be. It's not like that. If you date a very smart, intelligent woman, she's only going to try to help you raise, the bar for you and make you better, not break you down. I'm just telling you. So I just wanted to do a podcast on this. If you have any questions or comments, you can hit me up on my Mastering Self-Confidence program. It's just masteringselfconfidence.com. You can find me at richcelenza.com, but these are the type of things I talk about in my program a lot regarding men and women, because we don't want to sometimes just take an honest approach on our behavior, and a lot of things we're just kind of missing out on when it comes to dating, and kind of the way we've been, again, programmed and thinking, I can only date this type of woman because of the area I grew up in, or I'm this nationality, or I can only date a woman that's, maybe something like in my work environment. I only date women that kind of like are in the same field that I'm in, or the same, I guess you could say, tax bracket, or whatever the hell. That's ridiculous. You know what I mean? These are all things that are in your head. People, again, are people. And if you can just, break out of all that and start just learning how to kind of just trust your instincts and be around really intelligent people, you'd be shocked at how much further maybe you'd go in a relationship. So I'm going to wrap it up there. Any questions or comments, hit me up. I wish everyone nothing but the best.